सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ. We are seeing the topic of the Hindu samskaras. 16 of them we are seeing. In the last class I completed the 8th one also. 4 of them we saw in the last class. That is Namakaranam, naming ceremony, Nishkramanam, first outing, Annaprasana, feeding the solid food to the child for the first time, and Chuda Karma or Chuda Karana. These are the 4 I completed in the last class. In Namakarana, there is one more type of name also we can see that when the forefathers, they are very, very scholarly people, like they are able to chant Ghanam, a type of chanting it is. Their parampara is called Ghanapati. So they add the name of Ghanapati. Similarly, there is another type of chanting called Jatapata. If that family lineage has got anyone chanting Jatapata, that name also come along with this parampara. There was a name I used to hear, Jata Vallabhula Purushottam. That Jata is not original name, but it came because of that Jatapata in that family. Very highly learned people. And the Nishkramana also is a landmark for the development of the child. And Annaprasana for the child growth, healthy growth. And Chudakarana for the performance of Vedic rituals. One has to keep that tuft. It is good for health also, we saw in the last class. All these samskaras, each and every samskara, they have to see the auspicious time. Auspicious time, day, nakshatram, everything, vara, tidhi, etc. they have to see. The auspicious position of devatas also they have to see. The auspicious position of planets also they have to see. And the availability of all elders, relatives also they see, because they seek the blessings of those elders. And Brahmanas availability also they have to see. Seeing all these factors, they have to put a muhurtam, a time to perform that samskara. And Brahmanas' blessings are required because those Brahmanas' blessings will work, which Brahmanas are rigorously disciplined in their achara, anushtanam. If they are rigorously disciplined doing Gayatri and other rituals they perform, their blessings are very powerful. That's why Brahmanas also must be available for that samskara. So these are common for all samskaras: planet's position, devata's position, availability of elders, availability of Brahmanas. These are all we have to keep in our mind when we are doing, not when we have convenience, but we have to see others' convenience also. Now we are going to enter the ninth samskara, known as Karna Vedha. Karna means ear. Vedha means piercing. Vidh dhatu. It has come from vidh, tata dadha, fourth dha. Vidh means to pierce. Into karna means the ear lobe. Piercing the ear lobe of the child is called Karna Vedha. It is a ninth samskara. They perform this samskara between first year and third year of that child's birth. First year, between and third year. Karna Vedha they perform. According to Ayurveda, this Karna Vedha is very important. Sushruta and Charaka, both of them, they give highly importance to this, because from that hole of the ear lobe, when they pierce, the sun rays have to travel, have to enter the sun rays. And they put a metal there, afterwards a gold or silver, like that they put. And they invoke the devatas. They pray to the Lord on that occasion, because they are all called pranic centers. The nerve centers, like in Bhrumadhya, where we put kumkum, chandan, and temple muscles, they are all pranic centers, nerve centers, very, very important for health point. And this Karna Vedha, once we do for the child, when the sun rays are traveling, we can see the rays from that. That much gently they have to pierce into the earlobes. Certain types of diseases they can prevent. Hernia, hydrocele, etc. diseases can be prevented, and many other health issues also can be prevented. Diseases, problems, etc. Nowadays they are talking about acupuncture. These were all done by our ancestors long, long ago. At that time itself they have encouraged this acupuncture. So this is about Karna Vedha, ninth samskara. Then the 10th samskara is known as Vidyarambha. Vidyarambha or Aksharabhyasa. This samskara done between the third year and fifth year of the child. Between third year and fifth year, the teacher comes and make the child to sit near and ask, holding the child hand with a golden ring they hold, and in a plate of rice they write Om. First they write Om, Omkara symbol, tracing the Omkara symbol, invoking the Lord in that. Before alphabets they are going to write Omkara, they write first. The child has to write and the teacher guides the child. And alphabets, before writing alphabets, Aksharabhyasa, the teacher makes the child to utter Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. They make the child to write Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha and make the child to utter. Then the Lord of knowledge, education, Goddess Saraswati, Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, that also they make the child to write and utter that Nama. Then Om Namo Narayana, Om Namah Shivaya. Kuladevata they invoke on that occasion. And alphabets, while writing A, A, I, I like that, the teacher writing that child to write alphabets, and child also has to utter. This is called Vidyarambha or Aksharabhyasa. And after completing that, they seek the blessings of elders and Brahmanas, and that rice in that plate they take out and cook, make a payasam like, and food for the baby child, they feed that food to that child on that occasion. So this is about Vidyarambha or Aksharabhyasa. So the child is going to study, that is the or samskara. Then these are two samskaras. Some people does this samskara, some people won't do this. Now we'll go to the next samskara, that 11th samskara, known as Upanayana. Upanayana samskara, initiating into Gayatri mantra, is called Upanayana samskara. It is a very elaborate samskara, and these samskaras done by, performed by Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishyas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas have this Upanayana samskara. We may wonder, how come Shudras do not have this samskara? Is it not partial? But it is not partial. We have to understand here properly, carefully. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas do not segregate Shudras from this samskara. They have not segregated. Vedas also did not segregated these Shudras from the Upanayana samskara. Then how come they are not having this samskara, if you ask? The answer is, they themselves get away from these samskaras. This samskara and other samskaras also. Shudras are those people who do not have the interest in doing the Vedic samskaras, this Vedic tradition. They themselves get away from these Vedic samskaras. Once that they are not having Shraddha or interest in performing these samskaras, that father who is not performing these samskaras, and his son also later cannot have these beautiful samskaras because father is not interested. The Shudra family, father, the parents are not interested. They themselves get away from these Vedic traditions because a lot of disciplines they have to follow. Those who are not interested in those disciplines, strict, rigorous disciplines, they themselves get out of those Vedic traditions. So, yatha pita tatha putraha. Once a father is not having Shraddha and practice of these samskaras, naturally, what parampara comes next generations in that Shudra family? normally they also will not have these samskaras. And later what happened, it is as though Brahmanas, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas segregated them, separated them from the society. People started thinking, it is not correct. Veda never prohibited them from samskaras. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas never prohibited them. They never said that you, the Sudras, do not have, should not have these samskaras. They never said. I pointed out this in my Uddhava Gita class also when Lord Krishna was talking these samskaras for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisyas. Shudras are those people who do not practice these samskaras called Sudras. That's all. Those who do not practice these samskaras, strict disciplines, vows, rituals, they don't have Shraddha. They are called Shudras. Who are Shudras? Shudras are those people who never believe in this Vedic tradition. They are called Shudras. Those who do not believe in these samskaras, they are called Shudras. That is why we have to understand carefully. Instead of blaming the Veda and other three Varnas, we have to see the fact they themselves went out of this Vedic tradition. That is the reason. So, this Upanayana Samskara is there for Brahmana, Varna, Kshatriya Varna and Vaishya Varna. They have Shraddha, they have interest, they believe in Vedic tradition, that's why they are following. In these Varnas also, if they don't follow, they cannot come under Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya Varnas. They can come under Shudra Varna only. That is the vision of Veda. This is the time for us to understand there is no partiality anywhere. This is the one point we have to understand. The next point, the women in Vedic society have this samskara, Upanayana samskara. The girls were having this Upanayana samskara, it is said in Kurma Purana, Harita Samhita. Pura kalpe narinam maunji bandhanam iritam. So, in Vedic society, there was a practice of brahmacharya ashrama for girls also. After that Upanayana, if they want to continue in that Vedic study, they can continue, or they can take to sannyasa also to study Vedas. That was there in Vedic society also. So, Harita Samhita and Kurma Purana is the Pramanam. And Manu also says in Manusmriti, also in second chapter, 67th and 66th and 7th verses, Manu mentions that previously the girls were having this Upanayana Samskara. Later, these Upanayana Samskaras were not in practice. Gradually, they are not done for girls. Then he writes there, for girls, the Upanayana Samskara is the marriage time. Vivaha itself is considered as Upanayana Samskara for girls. That Maunji Bandhanam, they tie on that Vivaha time. And he writes, Manu writes there, who is that, for her, husband alone is her Acharya, Guru. Normally, boy, when Upanayana they perform, he goes to Gurukula. For this girl, Vivaha itself is, marriage itself is the Upanayana. Her husband is her Guru. Because husband is supposed to have Vedic knowledge so that he can teach to her. That is the idea. And Manu says her household duties, performing, taking care of house itself is like a homa, Sandhya Vandanam like, all offerings. Performing all her duties, family duties itself is performing Sandhya Vandanam like. Because husband is her guru, house is her gurukulam, that husband's house is her gurukulam, and she is learning from him. So husband supposed to learn all this Vedic knowledge he must have. That is the idea. This is about girls. Okay. Now, next point. What is the time to perform this Upanayana Samskara? What is the age time limit for Brahmana, Varna, and Kshatriya Varna, Vaishya Varnas? And this Gautama Sutra says, Brahmana, the boy, at the age of 8, that is the right time for Upanayana Samskara, for Brahmana boy. And the season is Vasanta Rutu. Spring season is the ideal season for Brahmana boy to get into Gayatri initiation, Upanayana Samskara. Why this difference is given between other Varnas and Brahmana Varna, I will tell you later. Then for Kshatriyas, the 11th year, Kshatriya boy, the initiation age is 11th year. And the time, season that has to be performed, Upanayana Samskara, is to be performed in the Grishma Rutu. Grishma Rutu means summer season. Then for Vaishya boy, that Upanayana Samskara is done at the age of 12. From the conception time onwards, we have to count. Garbhashtamam, Garbha Ekadasha, that is the counting. So 12th year for Vaishya. In the Sharad Rutu, the Upanayana Samskara has to be done. And in Gautama Sutras it is said how these differences are seen, the age difference and season difference. What is the reason? See, by birth, Brahmanas have that Sattva Guna, 25% Sattva Guna is there in Brahmana child. And Kshatriya child, 23% of Sattva Guna will be there. And for Vaishyas, 20% of Sattva Guna will be there. And for Shudras, 19% of Sattva Guna will be there. Now, to enter into this initiation, at the age of 8, the Brahmana child gets 30% of Sattva Guna. The 30% of Sattva Guna comes. That is the reason the spring season for Brahmanas, because that Brahmana boy has to study after Upanayana, he has to study Vedas, so needs a pleasant, calm mind. So that season is the ideal time. He has to study lot of scriptures and Tarka, Nyaya, Mimamsa, etc. So therefore, this type of season is chosen. Then the second, for Kshatriyas, the season Grishma is chosen because the Kshatriya boy has to learn Dhanurvidya, archery, and he has to learn lot of that heat is required. That heat in the sense the sun, high heat is required so that he gets strength and energy from the sunlight. That is the ideal time, and he has to he learns Arthashastra also he has to learn, and they need not learn all Vedas. They have to, Kshatriya have to learn more on Arthashastra and Dhanurvidya, archery. Then Vaishya, they have to learn business, accounts, Vanijjam, etc., commerce, accounts, etc. So the prosperity, the Sharad Ritu, autumn, after rainy season, the Sharad Ritu is ideal, which symbolizes prosperity. A lot of prosperity is there. For that, Vaishyas, that season is chosen. This is about when to perform this Upanayana. Then we'll go to the significance of this Upanayana. When the boy is initiated into Gayatri, that boy gets the name that is Dvijaha. Dvijaha means twice born. Twice born means the one who has taken second birth. The second birth, as it were. Because mother gives the first birth to the physical body. When he was very young age, that time he is not having any rules and regulations, disciplines. So therefore, that life is just like an animal life, equal to animal. Because the maturity is not there, intellectually also not mature enough, emotionally also not mature enough, just feeling hungry, eating and getting sleep and sleeping. So very, very closer to that animal nature until Upanayanam. So that from third year, fifth year, sixth year, up to that time. So that is why Dve Janmani Yasya Saha Dvijaha. So that sixth year, seventh year also, the parents is taking care of that child. Rajavart Panchavarshani. They look at the child as a Raja, Rani, like a king, and they see and they are very much pamper and give whatever child asks. That's why child, whatever time the child wants to get up, it will get up, and whatever the child wants to eat, where to go, no disciplines and all. Parents also leave that child at that age very liberally, very easy going life that is. But once that Upanayana karma is done, samskara, they becomes a new child, Dvijahanar, newborn child like, because he is going to change the entire life now onwards. It is just like a plant growing towards your window, suppose, coming towards your window side, what you do? You turn its direction, because it is in a plant condition. You turn its direction in a right direction. Like that, this is the time where you can turn the direction of the child. At this Upanayana Samskara time. At what are all levels? At emotional level, the child has to be given lot of values, accommodation, respecting elders, love towards others, concern towards others, non-violence, speaking truth. All values have to be given to that child at the age of 8 itself. That is emotional level, the child gets maturity, the development is taking place at that time. Then intellectually also, Viveka, what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. All this we have to teach to the child. Viveka means discrimination. That Viveka has to be given at that age itself. And physically also, previously there were not having much disciplines and all, and in bath, eating, moving here and there, all these were not there. But at the time of this Upanayana Samskara, once he becomes Dvijaha, he has to follow lot of rules and regulations. The time to get up and taking a bath, everything, eating, food habits, everything they have to be followed strictly. That is why emotional level, intellectual level and physical level, lot of transformation comes in his life at the time of Upanayanam. That's why he is called Dvijaha. By birth, everyone is Shudraha only. Janmana Jayate Shudraha. Everyone is Shudraha only without any disciplines. Karmana Dvijay Uchyate. Upanayana Samskara Karmana Dvija uchyate. That boy is called as, young boy is called as Dvijaha. Until that time, he is Shudraha's animal nature. No thinking, proper thinking, discrimination is not there properly. All these are not there. Everyone born like that only. Janmana jayate Shudraha, karmana dvija uchyate. Veda pathena viprasyat. When he become a vipraha, Veda pathena, by learning Vedas. Brahmano Brahma Vedanat. He become a Brahmana by knowing Brahman. That is why Brahminhood is properly understood. We are not understanding properly. That is why all types of misconception in the society are growing and giving problems also to the humanity, especially in our country. So therefore, who is Brahmana? We have to understand properly. So that Brahmana is Brahma Vedanam, who knows that Brahman. So this is about Dvijaha, and this boy has to know what is that Purusharthas. What Purushartha? Dharma Purushartha, Artha Purushartha, Kama Purushartha, Moksha Purushartha. And he has to know that time what is his duty towards parents, towards mother, father and brother, sister, and towards relatives and towards society also. All these, slowly he is becoming a responsible child. Previously he was irresponsible. Now he becomes a responsible child. Not only to family, into to society also. That society which he belongs, that society is going to become a responsible citizen. So that easy-going life is no more available. Easy-going life, like whims and fancies, as he wants, that is not possible now onwards. That is why this is for the Dvijaha, that status is given. Even Upanishad says, Taittiriya Upanishad, once you do your duties to your family, to society, and you have to take care of your duty also, duty towards yourself. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Kushalanna pramadhitavyam, bhutyaina pramadhitavyam. What is your ultimate duty? Duty towards yourself. That is moksha. So never forget your duty towards yourself. First you have to fulfill your duties towards your parents, towards children, towards society, your country. You do all of them. But Shastra reminds the person, you have your duty towards yourself also. You have to know, enter into Vanaprastha ashrama and sannyasa ashrama. That means that type of mindset. Come to know that moksha purushartha is the ultimate goal. These are all, this education is given in Gurukula, because he goes to Gurukula after Gayatri initiation, Upanayana Samskara. So this is about Dvijaha, the significance of the word Dvijaha. This much is there, and he has to know how to respect other varnas. Brahmana Varna boy should know how to respect Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. And Kshatriya boy should know how to respect Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudras. Similarly, Vaishya boy should know how to respect Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudras, even Shudras also. Like that, one should respect each other Varnas also. There is no superior or inferior Varnas. This education he is getting through that Gurukula Vasa. This is about Dvijaha. Now, this initiation into Gayatri is known as Brahmopadesha. Brahmopadesha means Brahmacharya ashrama he is entering. The whole process we have to understand. Upanayana Samskara is meant to give the Brahmacharya ashrama status, student status, bachelorhood, status. So brahmacharya ashrama status comes through Upanayana samskara. What do you mean by brahmacharya? This brahmacharya ashrama status meant for what? It is meant to go to Gurukula Vasa, to the place where Guru lives, and the Guru teaches Veda. For Vedic study, this young boy has to go to Gurukula. To go to Gurukula, he has to enter into Brahmacharya ashrama. To enter into Brahmacharya ashrama, he has to enter into Upanayana samskara, Gayatri initiation. That is the purpose. Really speaking, according to Vedic tradition, this is the purpose of doing Upanayana samskara. Now the Upanayana samskara is just staying in Nam ke Vasti. Even before marriage, some people are doing Upanayana samskara. Because we do not know what is the significance of Upanayana samskara, even we know also we are not dare enough to send our children to Gurukula. That is our condition. Therefore, learn to appreciate how great this samskara is. So, Brahmacharya ashrama is the first ashrama he is entering. You know, there are 4 ashramas. 4 ashramas. First one is Brahmacharya ashrama. Brahmacharya ashrama, the bachelorhood. Ashrama means what? Lifestyle. Brahmacharya means what? Charya means charati. He moves, he lives, he lead a life of Brahma. What is that Brahma? Here Brahma means Veda. Veda, he lead a life that is prescribed by Veda. Is called Brahmacharya. The one who lead that life is called Brahmachari, bachelor. You know how much deep meaning is there. Brahmachari means a young boy who is living a lifestyle as prescribed in Vedas. He is called Brahmachari. This is one meaning. Brahmachari. Brahma means Veda. Charati means who leads that life. He is called Brahmachari. Then, second meaning is philosophical meaning. Brahma means Brahman, supreme, Param Brahma. Param Brahma, Brahmani charati, Brahmani nimittam. Brahma nimittam, Brahma vishaye, Brahma nimitte charanam, Brahmacharyam. So, at the time of initiation, this boy decides, my life is to attain moksha, that Parabrahman, a lifestyle that which reaches me to that Brahman, takes me to attain that Brahman, is called Brahmacharyam. Girls are Brahmacharini, boys are called Brahmachari. This is the meaning of Brahmacharyam. It is an eligibility to go to Gurukula. After Upanayana samskara, this boy is known as Brahmachari. This Brahmachari's next job is what? He has to go to Gurukula. To go to Gurukula, just like that you cannot go. Here the Upanayana samskara they perform. What do you mean by Upanayana? Now the meaning of Upanayana. What is the meaning of Upanayana? Upa means near. Nayana means leading. Upanayana. Leading towards. Towards what? Upanayana. Leading towards. That it says, Vedam Gurum Upaniyate Ena Karmana Tatu Upanayanam. Vedam Gurum. This, the act that by which the boy is led to Gurukula to study Vedas. That is called Upanayanam. This is one meaning. Vedam Upanayanam, Gurum Upanayanam, Parabrahma Upanayanam is called Upanayanam. And another commentator says Nayanam means eyes also. Eyes are all called Nayanam, Netram. Here Nayanam is Antakchakshuhu. After Upanayana, the boy becomes introverted. Antakchakshuhu means inner eye. Inner eye means here introverted. He is no more extroverted, but he becomes introverted when he becomes a brahmachari. This is the idea. Nowadays you cannot think about all these things, what our children are living, doing and all. So very, very rarely people follow all these things. Vedam Upanayanam, Gurum Upanayanam, leading to Veda, to study the Veda in the Gurukula, so Gurum Upanayanam. So Guru also says, Aham Upanaye. He tells that young boy, father, I am taking charge of your son. Today onwards, I am going to take care of your son, because this boy is going to Gurukula after Upanayana. So therefore, father is performing Upanayana. Then Guru says, I am going to take care of your son. Now onwards, I am in charge of your son. That is the Guru's words. It comes in the mantra itself. Since that word occur in this mantra, this is the ideal meaning. Upanayana means Guru himself says, Aham Upanaye. He tells to the father of that young boy. So the teacher taking charge of that young boy, the child, is the perfect ideal meaning. There is a nice shloka. How Guru is the father, mother. Now, who is the father, mother after Upanayanam? But after Upanayanam, we are keeping our children with us only. No father, mother ready to send the child to Gurukula to study. They do not know where are Gurukulas also. What to study and all. That is a different thing. That sloka tells, Matur agrebhi jananam, dvitiyam maunji bandhanam. So the first birth is given by mother, Matuhu, agrebhi jananam. First birth, physical body, this boy has got from mother, Matuhu, agrebhi jananam. Then next birth is what? Dvitiyam maunji bandhanam. After maunji bandhanam, yagnopavita dharanam over, Upanayana over, this boy has become, the second birth he has taken, Dvitiyam maunji bandhanam. Then after Upanayanam, who is his father, who is his mother? This father, mother, he has to go to Gurukula and study Vedas 12 years. And what he has to study there, everything he studies. Generally people think Veda means it talks about moksha only, Vedanta alone. So Vedanta alone is important. People think, no, it is not like that. Veda talks about everything for the well-being of human beings. Everything Veda talks. What are all Veda talks? I will tell you later. And the second line it says, Tatrasya Mata Gayatri. Tatra means Dvitiye Janmani. After Upanayana Samskara, Asya Mata. Who is his mother? Gayatri is the Mata, mother. That much he has to do every day, Gayatri, Japam. So she is the Mata for him, not original mother. He has to surrender to Gayatri Mata. Who is then Pita? Then Pita tu Acharya Uchyate. Father is Acharya. That Guru himself is the Acharya. No more mother, original mother and father. For 12 years, Guru is father, Gayatri mantra is the mother. Gurukula Vasam is the house, he has to stay there. Then only the child can learn all disciplines, all types of, the whole conduct can be changed. This is about Upanayana meaning. And Brahmacharya meaning also we have seen. What is Brahmacharyam? Who is Brahmachari? and what is Upanayana meaning also we saw. And what are all he learned there? First, in Upanayana Samskara time, the purpose of this Upanayana Samskara is initiation into Gayatri, I said. The Gayatri mantra is the Sara of Vedas. Before going to study in Gurukula, this boy has to be initiated into Gayatri. This is Gayatri represents entire Veda. Gayatri represents entire Veda. Therefore, Gayatri mantra is given to this boy, and that is called Brahmopadesha. Brahma means here Veda. Brahma Upadesha or Gayatri Upadesha is as good as Brahma Upadesha, means Veda Upadesha in nutshell. Gayatri, the 24 letters or 23 letters, that Gayatri, Nichrit Gayatri, that they say, that Gayatri, 24 letters, you know, that mantra, it is the essence of Vedas. That Vedas he is going to study. Now he is eligible. After Upanayana Samskara, he is eligible to touch the Veda, to enter into Gurukula. Without Upanayana Samskara, he is not supposed to touch the Veda. Not supposed to study Upanishads or any subject of Veda. That is why Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisyas are initiated into Brahmacharya Ashrama by Upanayana. Upanayana, they give Brahmopadesha, that is Gayatri mantra. That Gayatri mantra is the essence of Vedas. Here, now that Upanayana Samskara is as good as giving the qualification to this young boy. You are fit enough to go to Gurukula to study Vedas. In that Gurukula, whatever he learns, that what Guru teaches there, he teaches about Varna Dharma, he teaches about Ashrama Dharma, and Guru teaches about Purusharthas, Dharma, what is Dharma Purushartha, what is Artha Purushartha, what is Kama Purushartha, what is Moksha Purushartha. And he teaches so many values, how to take care of family, how to take care of wife, how to give importance, equal importance to wife also, because she is also having her own duty towards herself for moksha. So therefore, equal importance to wife, how much importance you have to give to your family members and society, and your responsibility towards country, how to protect dharma. All this education, whatever given in Vedas, the Guru teaches to this young boy for 12 years. Not 1 year or 2 years. What our children are studying in English convents nowadays, English education, this education is not available there. Even minimum heritage education itself, students are not available to study. Minimum outer peripheral level also. They are not available to learn yoga and these other cultural subjects. Students are not available. They are always interested in modern education, modern lifestyle, modern life living and all. That is why we are also helpless. We are also not able to do anything, because parents, they themselves are telling helpless, what we can do. Parents cooperate, we also can do something. It is in the parents' hands. The child has to learn all these things to take care of family, father, mother, siblings, brother and sister. These are all very important. This boy is given that much education, full of values, education, towards himself, towards society, towards family. So a responsible, healthy person comes from animal nature to man. Swami Chinmayananda used to say, animal man to man, man to divine man. That is our journey. That is our journey. So now itself, you see that January 1st is going to come means you can see that Galata. January 1st, Paramarthananda Swamiji always says, Jananam Varri January. So January 1st means some festival like all drinking, all clubs, all these things. It's not our culture. That is not our festival also. We need not celebrate that. So that is our children's mindsets are going that side. So this is the condition, present condition. Unless we teach all this, our culture, our values, you cannot have a healthy child in your hand tomorrow. The conduct, the character, the responsibility towards society, towards people, towards dharma, and towards oneself. What is my responsibility towards myself? Moksha Purushartha. 12 years in Vedic study, the Gurukula atmosphere trained the young boy for a full-fledged, complete, responsible, healthy person, so that you can be happy with that child throughout your life. That is the difference between Gurukula Vasa and in our house Vasa. There is lot of difference. There is a nice sloka, Rajavat Panchavarshani. You can take care of your child, Rajavat, like Raja for 5 years, Panchavarshani. Dasavat Dashavarshani. From 6th year onwards up to 15th year, Dasavat, you have to make them to do hard work. They have to become a responsible young children. So Dasavat Dashavarshani. Agate Shodashe Varshe Putram Mitravad Acharet. They are like your friends when they are entering into 16th year. Never make them to depend upon you for everything. Give independence for them and see them how they are leading their life. You have to guide them. These are all very, very important for parents. Therefore, the samskara itself gives a great relief to parents once the child goes to Gurukula, and the Guru responsibility, that is what he has to do. The Guru will take care of that in Brahmacharya Ashrama. Then the preparation of this Upanayana. Preparation actually in ancient time, father alone has to give this initiation into Gayatri. That was the original tradition. When father can give this Gayatri initiation, when father performing Gayatri every day rigorously, practicing at least minimum 1 or times every day, he will have that capacity to teach that initiation, giving initiation to his son. Unless father is not having that regular practice, that mantra will not work. There is no use also. That's why father must be very well versed, thorough in that Shastra and able to give that primary initiation to the child. Father is supposed to give. But nowadays we cannot expect that also. Whether father is doing Gayatri mantra or not is doubtful. That's why we call priests those who are doing Gayatri rigorously for a length of time. That Brahmanas will come and doing that initiation, Upanayana Samskara. So the first, the Upadesha done by the father only, that Brahmopadesha. It has to be done by father. Otherwise, if father is not practicing, it will not help. Okay. Then lot of previous rituals are also there before Upanayana Samskara, Nandi Shraddha and Udaka Shanti, Punyaha Vachanam. And there are after Upanayanam, there are lot of steps. Yagnopavita Dharanam onwards, nearly 20 steps, more than that steps are there. How, what they do in that Upanayana Samskara. And when this Guru says, I am taking your son to my Gurukulam, Aham Upanaye, This boy is kept 3 days in a room before Upanayana Samskara. This boy kept in 3 days in a room and he has to observe silence. 3 days, 3 nights. That sloka tells him, Brahmacharinam krunute garbha antaha tam ratri trishraha udare bibharti tam jatum drashtum sanyanti devaha. When this Upanayana ceremony is going to take place, when the boy is in that room, all the devatas come to see him and ancestors comes to see him. Why they come? Because this boy is going to do lot of rituals tomorrow, because he gets Yajnopavitam and he is fit enough to do all Vedic rituals. So devatas are also happy and Pitrus are also happy. They come to see this drashtum, devaha, sanyanti. So devas comes because this boy is going to do Panchamaha Yajnas tomorrow. So Varuna Devata, Agni Devata, all of them are happy so that they get offerings. That's why Yajnopavita Dharanam means what? Yajna means this thread, sacred thread, when they are putting to this boy, this is a license to perform all yajnas, Panchamaha yajnas and other Shrauta yajnas, Shrauta karmas, Smarta karmas, and he gets sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. And when this Yajnopavita Dharanam takes place, it is a qualification, eligibility to do yajnas. That is the qualification, Yajnopavita Dharanam. And this Yajnopavita Dharanam time, this boy is asking, Oh Lord, please Maheranaya Chakshase, please help me to get this Atma Jnanam. I want to do Shrauta karmas, Smarta karmas. I want to perform all the rituals, Sandhyavandhanam, every day. This boy has to say and get the blessings of Devatas and Pitrus. So this is the preparation from animal nature to a full-fledged, responsible young boy. From this time onwards, Guru is taking care of. That's why parents must be totally confidently hand over the son or daughter to that Guru. They should not ask what you are going to teach, what are the subjects. That much they are asking means they do not know what about that Guru, they do not know. So that much confidence must be there in that Guru. Then only the child can be handed over to the teacher. Otherwise, teacher cannot take in charge of that child. Unless parents surrender completely, knowing that what is that he is going to learn. That is very important. The trust is very important. More in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Hari Om.